Hi there, I'm going to tell you how you can win $500 in our eel competition. Now, we don't want you to go catching any eels. Rather, we'd like you to take a photo or a video of one of New Zealand's eels and send it in to us. So what you can do is go down and find an eel in your local creek, could be in a river, could be in a lake, anywhere around New Zealand that you find eels, and take a photo of it, put a caption to it, and send it in to us. $500 prize money for the best photo caption. Or take a video of it and send that in as well. Again, $500 prize money for the best video that comes to us. Now, there's a few rules in this competition. The first one, don't go handling the eels. The second one, the eels must be in the wild. We don't want to see any eels in swimming pools or any kind of nonsense like that. Third one is you can feed the eels, but just be careful with it. You don't want to go overfeeding them. You don't want them to become totally dependent on you feeding them. If you give them a little bit of maybe sausage meat or mince or pet food, once per week is plenty. And give it a month or so, and this eel will be sitting there waiting for you to come down and give them a piece of meat. They will in many cases become pretty good like a pet. You might have one eel, or you might end up with a whole bunch of eels that get used to you going down and feeding them. The idea here is we're trying to promote people to love these eels rather than them being caught. Now, I'll give you a little bit of background on these eels we get in New Zealand. There's two different types, the short fin eel and the long fin eel. Now, the long fin eel, they are amazing. Only found in New Zealand. They can live over 100 years old, making them potentially the oldest living animals in New Zealand. They breed once and then die. They swim all the way to, well, we don't actually know where, but we think it's near Tonga or near New Caledonia. They kind of live out their life and swim over there and breed. Males can live up to maybe 40, 50 years like that. Females, over 100 years old. So for you guys, when you're doing this, you find a really big old eel, it's probably going to be a female. The eels in New Zealand, they are under a number of threats. And the first one is commercial fishing. Amazingly, they still go commercially harvesting the eels in New Zealand, and we'd like the government to change the law to stop that. The second thing is habitat loss. And as our farmland has increased, and as we've tended to sort of change our streams, instead of being a meandering thing with lots of logs and holes and places for eels to live, we've tended to clean those out and make them sort of long and straight sides. Not so good for the eels. Third thing is pollution. Eels want to live in crystal clear rivers and streams. They don't like the polluted rivers and streams that we're starting to get in New Zealand now. And the fourth thing is hydro dams. Generally what happens when the eels want to migrate, they go down rivers, and if they're on, for example, the Waikato River, there's a whole lot of hydro dams, and as the eels go through the dam, they get minced up in the turbines. And the dams, of course, are then a barrier to the baby eels. When they come back up the river, they can't climb up the dam and get access to these other places. So the eels are under a lot of threat. One of the reasons why we want you guys to love the eels rather than catching them. Finally, I'm going to tell you how to get the entries into us. If it's a photo or a video under 10 megabytes in size, simply email it to eels@earthrace.net. Now, if it's a video and it's greater than 10 megabytes in size, you've got two options. One is post it to YouTube and email us the link. Or the second option is you can go to wesendit.com, put in that recipient email address eels@earthrace.net, and attach the video, and we'll get it that way. Either way, you've got a few options to get them to us. Go out, get yourself a pet eel, take some awesome photos and videos of it, and send it to us, and you might win $500. Go the eels.